All right. Hello and welcome to my absolute favorite day of the week. It is Transformation Tuesday, where we get to hear from our amazing reset clients who have just gone through so many amazing transformations, and each one is just as spectacular as the next. And today, you are all in for a treat. We have my dear sweet friend Natasha, all the way from Florida, although it looks like you're somewhere like in the spring with all of your beautiful pink blooms today with the magic of Zoom. So, welcome, sweet friend. How are you?
I am well. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited, and I know that the world is going to be excited to hear your transformation, as I am. I always love when we get on the calls, like throughout the program, just to get the updates because we get on the weekly calls and we have a little bit, but we don't get the whole story. So this, when I was able to talk to you, I think it was last week,
Mhm.
and just catch up and get the fullness of this, I was just like, oh, we've just got to tell everybody the amazing transformation that you've gone through. And so I would love for you to share just how you heard about the reset, where you were when you started, and let's just walk people through the last 10 weeks because a lot has happened for you in 10 weeks.
Oof.
And that's my favorite part is how fast this can actually happen and how amazing the transformation is. And you live in the transformation space too. So that's why this is going to be an extra powerful time today for everybody.
Well, just you talking about this, I have goosebumps
Aw.
because you say 10 weeks and it's amazing when you stick to something and you follow the rules, how things can change for you within 10 weeks. And you're right, I never anticipated having this amount of change in my life in 10 weeks.
Yes.
So prior to 10 weeks ago, and I would say 6 months before that, I have just been experiencing chronic pain. I work from home now, so I spend a lot of my days sitting at my desk, like we're doing right now.
Mhm.
And I was experiencing a lot of pain into my neck, into the left side of my body, all the way down into my feet. Had difficulty walking, just had no motivation. Didn't even want to go outside and get fresh air. Didn't even want to go outside to get a walk in, even though I knew those were all the things that I needed to do. Now, keep in mind, I'm a person in my younger years, going out and exercising and eating well was something I could do. My body would just change pretty
Yeah.
rapidly. And I found myself this time around, I even paid to get a coach, was getting a coach, was working out for 6 months, and I wasn't losing weight. I was gaining weight.
Mm.
And I became so mentally stressed. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like something is not right with my body. Like, now, granted, stubborn me, I've been having signs for months, but I haven't been paying attention to those signs. But I'm working out, trying to eat a little bit better, but now I'm still gaining weight. So I cried and I really got on my hands and knees and I asked God, I said, God, I need a transformation in my life. I need something to change. I don't know what it is, but I know I don't want a doctor who's going to prescribe me medications. I'm in recovery, so I don't want to put anything unnatural into my body. So literally 24 hours from being on my hands and knees and pleading and asking him, said, I will do whatever it takes, just as long as it's not a doctor that's going to prescribe me medications. Kathy Shelburne, who has been in your program, she's my client in my coaching program. She
Yes.
and I started talking, and she goes, I need you to call Miranda. And I sat there and I go, and I'm going to be honest with you, Miranda, I'm very skeptic. And I was just kind of like, I don't know, another program, and I got to spend money, and I got to do this, and I'm not sure. And she goes, just talk to her. You're going to love her. She is going to understand everything that you're going through. And I even want to cry right now. And I was like, I sat there and I go, okay, I just prayed about this yesterday. I said to God, I would do anything. So now I got to put my money where my mouth is,
Yes.
right? I got to walk in that faith and not say no and not come up with excuses. And that's when I called you. I set up
Yes.
that appointment and I called you. And the day that I called you, you went beyond understanding me. Like it was like you were me years later, right?
Mhm.
And listening to your story and what you had been through just said, if she can do this, I can definitely do this. You were such an inspiration. You motivated me so much just in that clarity call that we
Yeah.
had together. And I was like, yeah, hands down. I got goosebumps just
Me
talking
too.
about it. And I
Yeah.
just like, I have to do this. And what I love about your program more than anything is that it's all natural. I did not have to put anything artificial into my body. You taught me actually how to release. all the artificial stuff that I had been putting into my body
Yes.
and to let my body do what it normally can do. My hormones were back in balance. 10 weeks ago, when I was experiencing all of that pain and fatigue and loss of motivation and whatnot, I had gone to the doctor to get some blood work done because I wanted to have a better understanding of where I was at. And I actually did that blood work the same week I spoke to you. So when I started your program, my blood work came back that very first week of after we had done the loading and started into the losing phase. And that's when they said I was pre-diabetic. And
Mhm.
if I continued on this path, I would have diabetes. And they, of course, talked about my culture and my family and heritage. And because there's diabetes in our family, that I stand this chance of having diabetes. And I go, no way, no how. Just because my ancestors have had it doesn't mean that I have to have it, nor do I
Yes.
have to live with it. And as a
Yes.
result of that, and what everything that you've been teaching us in the program, in the first week, the fatigue was going away. In the first week, I started feeling energy again. And I was like, huh, I can get into doing some yoga. I don't have to go walk a mile. I don't have to do anything intense. I just got to start stretching my body just to get better circulation. So then I started with that, right? And then, oh my God, I lost a couple pounds.
Yeah.
Every day there, I was winning in some way, right? And you taught me to not obsess about the scale, not obsess about the number, because I am guilty of that,
We
right?
all
How much,
are. This is how we know to teach that, right? That stands in the
right?
way of us getting to where we need to go, like between like this 8 inches, right?
Yep. 100%. And I think it was like the second or third week, I kind of started plateauing with where the number on the scale wasn't going down, but the inches were going away. I was losing inches. The energy was increasing. I was sleeping better. I mean, you name all the things that I was struggling with 10 weeks before. By week one, week two, week three, you were just seeing those natural changes. And those natural changes is what motivated me to say, the book that you gave us, I literally read that book page by page, follow step by step. You take this at this time, you eat your food at this time, you don't eat past this time. I literally stuck to that. And so at 9 weeks, I went back to the doctor and she was amazed. She did my blood work and she goes, everything is within normal range. She goes, you are no longer pre-diabetic. She goes, so whatever you've been doing, keep doing it and you'll never have to come back to my office again. And I was like, yes. So that's what I've been doing. And that's
That's so
then
good.
what led me into going into the lifestyle phase. There was no question about going into the lifestyle phase because now I want to maintain this.
Yes.
And why do I want to maintain it? I have spent years of doing different diets and different workouts and working hard in the gym, trying so many things. And maintenance has always been one of the most difficult things for me.
Yes.
But I didn't really feel like the last 10 weeks that, although challenging mentally and emotionally, it wasn't challenging physically. So
Yes.
as a result of it being so natural, I was like, if I could keep doing this over and over for the next year, I really think this is more manageable, more tolerable for me. So
Yeah.
oh my God, and I look at those pictures
I
and I
know.
just
Well, tell us. Okay, so first of all, thank you for sharing all of that. So amazing. So the we've got it on the screen here, but the before and after pictures, and I have another one, another view of this. But I would love for you, first of all, to tell people what you do. Like, so what you do is very important framework for going into this, because when our worlds collided on that first clarity call, like we knew God was like bringing us together for a reason. And so I would love for you to share that and then share after that, like the way taking these pictures made you feel. It's very important. So let's walk people through that bit of your experience.
So first of all, I'm a therapist by trade. I specialize in addiction. I'm currently a personal development coach. So I work
And
on
a really, really, really amazing one, by the way.
encouraging and motivating, thank you, and inspiring others to live the purpose-driven life that God has called them to live and to truly deepen that love for self. Truly, right? So I spend day and night doing this with other people. And as I mentioned to you off camera earlier, when you asked us to take our before pictures, my daughters took that before picture of me and I cried afterwards. I had a mental and emotional breakdown because I was just, and I'm going to use this word, but I want you to know that I love me and I'm kinder to me today. But I felt disgusted. I was miserable. I did not like what I was seeing. And I was so angry and resentful to myself that I
Mhm.
allowed myself to get that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, granted, I see myself in the mirror every day, getting dressed for work every day. But there was something about this. I have no makeup on. My hair is not done. I literally just kind of clipped it up. You're seeing me in natural and in the raw. And for those that know me well, know that Natashah doesn't typically do that. If I'm going
Right.
to get on camera, I got to get made up, get my hair done, all the things. And so being authentic was very important to me because in my program, that is what I'm teaching my clients to do is to be your authentic self, embrace every aspect of you and be willing to learn. And I, even though I'm a coach, there was something that you had to offer me that I needed to learn. And I was willing to learn. I was willing to take the suggestions. I don't think that I know everything. And boy, oh boy, coming into your program, the education that you provide blew me away. And I'm still blown away today. Like you're talking to me now about foods that I can eat that can help balance my hormones,
Mhm.
right? Which for a really long time, I thought I'd have to get on hormone replacement therapy and do all these other kinds of things. And now I'm finding out I don't have to. So it's just exciting. Emotionally, it was a lot. I had to do a why video for you in the beginning. I did that without makeup and being my authentic self. And mentally and emotionally, it was hard. But this program teaches me that I've got to challenge myself. I have to face those mental and emotional challenges in order to get to where I'm at.
Yes.
So your coaching and the support of the community and people encouraging each other, all of that just made all of this so worthwhile. So I can't say
So
thank you enough. You've changed my life forever.
thank you. Well, I think the most important thing that we want to help people to understand is that education is empowerment, right? And a lot of times people, they think they know what to do and they're just not doing it, which I have found to not be true. Like of the over 1,500 people, now closer to 1,600 people that we've worked with in 6 years, not one person has coming in doing what we're teaching. Right. And I'm one of those people. Like when I learned this, I was like, well, I've tried a million things under the sun, but I've never done this. So let me try it. And it was life changing, which is why you see me like, shouting it from the rooftops. It made all the other things that I learned make sense. And so that's what I love the most about this is when you get the education, you can apply that to every little bit of the struggle that you've had in your journey. And now you know why those other things didn't work. So the collective wisdom in our community of women who are middle-aged, 40, 50 something or more, who've all tried a
Mhm.
gabillion things. We have decades and decades of experience and knowledge to share about what works and what doesn't work. And then when we all start doing the thing that will always work, real food is the foundation. So of course we've got to do that first before we start taking, supplements even. And get the body running on the right fuel. Like we think we're doing that or trying it is okay. It's kind of the non-negotiable. Like that's the point, right? And so teaching it in a simple way, because if it does not make sense to you, you won't do it. It's hard
Yeah.
enough to trust it with everything else, but until you feel, that's why I love that you shared that as you were going through this day by day, you were getting those wins. And you even described perfectly the 3-week freak out when the scale like stops kind of going down for a little bit. It is a pattern that it happens around week 3 for everybody, which is why we call it that, because we get addicted to the
Yep.
success immediately. And if we don't get what we want, we immediately become like a 5-year-old toddler, throw a fit and go eat a cupcake, right? Like it's just what we do. So we have to understand what that is, why we do it, unpack all of that, which is why I love what you bring to our community because it is so emotional, right? And
Yep.
when your food, that's why I was like, oh, Natashah, like when you catch how much this changes the control you have over your mindset and your emotions, like
Yes.
this is going to change your world. It's going to change your client's world. And these two worlds, they have to collide. Like for the
I am.
transformation, we have to understand that we're food addicted. We have to understand that this is recovery. We have to understand that our beliefs and our mindset have to change in order to make a sustainable, lifelong change. And you can't do it without all of the pieces, which is what the reset is and what the reset stands for. The
Can
RESET.
I? Can I jump in there really quickly to say something? Because
Absolutely.
there's a lot of people that will listen to this. They may think that I'm not addicted to food. And I want everyone out there to hear this. I did not think I was addicted to food. I was addicted to drugs. I was addicted to alcohol. I was addicted to work, unhealthy relationships. I was addicted to everything else. Food was not on the list, right? When I met you, I came to understand that I'm actually an undereater. So, not an overeater. So, a lot of times I think when we hear addicted to food, we're overeating, we're overindulging. I wasn't eating enough. And then when I did eat, I was not eating things that provided the nutrients to my body. So I came to have a healthier relationship with food, which was not something that I think that I needed in this. So that was just one of those things that got added to my goals, was learning to have a healthier relationship with food. So if you hear Miranda say addicted and you think, oh, that's not me, you might want to rethink and reevaluate that just a little bit more, because you might just surprise yourself.
I personally think we're all addicted to something. Like I think we all cope a different
Yes,
way,
ma'am.
and we have a little bit kind of everything, right? And it tends to, and
Mhm.
food addiction is one of the most normalized. It's one of the most celebrated, and it's also one of the like people will be like, no, I'm an emotional eater. Well, guess what that is?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when we put stuff in our body that was never supposed to be there, guess what we're addicted to? That stuff that was
Mhm.
never supposed to be there. Anybody met someone addicted to carrots or broccoli? Me neither. Me neither. It's just real. It's just we're not addicted to the stuff we're supposed to do.
Right.
That would be too easy. Okay. So it's just human nature. It's part of learning what this is. But when you can learn to love the real foods and the way that they make you feel, most people, I'm resigned to the fact that most people don't know what it feels like to feel good. Because if they have not eaten real food,
Yes.
and I would say, Natasha, more people are like you than are not. Like, even people that have like a lot of weight to lose, like myself, we're so scared to eat anything that we would, we'd kind of like grin and bear it. If it was anybody like Weight Watchers like me, I would save all my points for the chocolate cakes at the end of the day, like, and eat nothing all day just so that I could have it. That was my mindset. And I wasn't feeding my body anything. So of course I was starving all
Right.
the time. My body was hunting for nutrition,
Right.
not the 1 point chocolate cakes that I rewarded myself with
Mhm.
at the end of the day. So we all have those patterns, but what I love this side view because the inflammation that goes away. And I love that you said you ate more. We teach people how to eat a lot of real food that you don't have to count and, all of that stuff. Like you're literally free from that forever. Like that's
Mhm.
one of the most liberating things in the world. So I would love for you to share like what this feels like cuz that's you're a small person, you have a small frame and so 25 pounds on your frame is a lot in 10 weeks. And we're looking at cuz it looks like more than 25 pounds in these pictures too.
Well, I've also lost about 25 inches as well. And so
Which
that, I think a lot of times we calculate the weight
yeah.
piece of it on the scale, but the inches make up for that as well. And I understand now why I was experiencing such chronic pain. Yeah, I'm 5 feet tall, not an inch shorter or taller, at 172 pounds. And while many may have said I wore it well or I wore the right clothes to cover myself, my
Mhm.
bone structure couldn't handle that. And that's why I had neck pain and back pain and shoulder pain and you name the pain, and I had it. And of course, being in recovery, not taking any pain medicine for that. And I was just learning to live with the pain.
Yes.
When I look back on this, I've probably been living with this weight and pain for probably somewhere between 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
And it just blows my mind. The way that I look today, I was probably like that in when I first got sober in my early 30s, but really didn't look like this since I was in my 20s.
Wow.
You said something just now about never really knowing what feeling good is really about. And I'm going to be very honest with you. This is the best I've ever felt in my life because even in my 20s, I was smoking weed, drinking, being a 20-year-old or being, someone in their early 20s, and I was covering stuff up. I was addicted to other things because I was covering the stuff in my life.
Yeah.
I got sober in my 30s and I was still trying to, although sober, still, it was a balancing act on trying to find myself again.
Yes.
So truly, truly, I'm almost 50 years old. This is the best I felt. I am energized. I have a grandson now. I can play with him when he's ready to start walking and running. I know that I can chase him and probably win. I'm not getting up in the morning
I love that.
feeling all achy and like, oh my God, my body hurts. I'm ready to take on my day. I'm just mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, it's the best, well balanced place I've ever been in my entire life. And like I said, it's a dream come true. I really, really appreciate it. And again, the education is foundation, and the education, understanding food and how food works in the body and what does what and how it interacts with who you are as a person and the way that you're designed was just groundbreaking for me,
Hmm.
and was a game changer. So I hope people listening out there will take the opportunity to just get educated and learn more, or just have a conversation with you. Because, girl, when you speak, everybody just needs to stop what they're doing and they just need to listen. Because this is it's the best. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Ah, gosh, you're getting me all teary. I love seeing people win. Like, I love people taking simple information and using it because I know that when we know better, we can do better, and how
Amen.
empowering that is to every avenue of your life. And so, I would love for you to speak to the depression bit that you shared, because knowing that you are literally listening people and helping people walk through tough stuff like trauma and addiction and all of that, as a fellow empath, like we feel that. We feel that. So knowing that you're doing that and carrying your own level of depression and pain, that's heavy. And so I would love to hear how this has impacted you and just your bandwidth for serving other people in the capacity that you do, how that's changed for you personally.
Sure. Well, I have to go back a little bit and give you a quick back history. In the last 3 years, I almost died from COVID. I went through a divorce. My two daughters that I had lost in my first divorce when they were younger moved back home. So I had a lot of changes
Wow.
in the last 3 years that I honestly thought mentally and emotionally I was doing great. What I didn't realize I was leaning more into work and pouring out to
Mhm.
others, and yes, being that empath and taking their stuff on. So now I'm working longer hours, working 10 to 12-hour days, and believing and convincing myself that this is great, which then took away from me getting up from my desk, going for a walk, putting something healthier into my body. I was not eating, loading up on coffee and espresso. And at the
Mhm.
end of the evening, I would eat a dinner and just eat to eat because I needed to put something in my body with really no thought. And in realizing all of this, and with the work I've done with you, and then talking with another functional medicine doctor and some friends who are therapists and my mentors, etc., I came to realize that I had done some therapy around my losses, but I really needed to go back and dig a little deeper,
Mhm.
and by working through those losses, I came to realize now that I had lost balance in those 3 years. I didn't think that I did,
Mhm.
but when I took the time to really do some self reflection, and my clients will tell you now, I am very big on self reflection
Yeah.
because I didn't truly take the time to self reflect in those last 3 years, and it caught up with me
Yeah.
physically. It
Yeah.
wasn't until my physical pain that I really started paying attention to what was going on.
Yeah.
So in these last 10 weeks, it's for me, it's all about self-reflection. I journal every day. I'm talking to mentors and other people in my life every day and checking in with myself and making sure now I'm getting up from my desk. I've actually, as a result, my daughter gave me this idea and it works really well. For some of my clients who go to the next phase in my program, we do a walk and talk. So they
Oh, I
see
love
me
it.
every 2 weeks, and so now it gets them to be physically active as well. I hold them accountable while at the same time I'm also making sure that I'm getting my steps in the day
Yes.
as well. Um, I've learned to balance my day and understand that work is not the end all be all in my life. So I take longer breaks in my day to make sure that I'm going to the gym, right?
Yes.
And maintaining the routine that comes with following your program. Your program requires discipline, and I have to also get on a schedule and a routine. So it was taking the time to put all those things into motion.
Yes.
Um, and of course, science says if we do anything, every day habitually for 21 days, we can start a new habit or break a habit. So literally within 21 days of incorporating your program into my life and kind of removing the things that didn't need to happen, which was I didn't need to work 12 hours a day,
Yes.
right? I wanted to work 12 hours a day. And
Yeah.
so by looking at those, looking at what I needed versus what I wanted in my life, I was able to regain that balance within that 21 days. And now we're 10 weeks into this, and I am even blown away by the fact that I'm even as disciplined as I am,
Hmm.
you know? And a shout out to those of us that are sober. My 12-step program in AA has also helped me in this program as well. A lot of what I've learned in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is also helping me make sure that I'm maintaining. Food now is no different than alcohol for
Yes.
me or prescription pills for me. And I remind myself of that every day. And if I have just one, I'm going to want more. And I worked really hard to get here in this last 10 weeks. Looking at these pictures showed, my discipline to the program. And I'm just not willing to give that up or throw that away.
I love that. And oh my gosh, like I can just see like I love to see the way people's eyes sparkle and the clarity, like their skin glowing. Like it looks like you've lost 20 years too. Like, I mean, truly, and which is what you're feeling as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what I love to highlight here is truly the wisdom of our community. So and if you've been watching Transformation Tuesdays for a while and you see that there are people that are coming in here who've lost anywhere from 10 pounds to 120 pounds or more. And when you're surrounded by people who it takes discipline to get started, but you said it perfectly when after you do this and get those little wins, you can't change everything in your mind all at once. And I think what we do as people is we're just such an immediate society that we want this thing to happen yesterday. I eat one salad and I lose 50 pounds. I go to the gym once and it's done. Like this is the fastest way we know possible to help your body create health. And there are certain things that have to happen. You have to have balanced blood sugar. You have to have an abundance of nutrients. You do have to remove toxins. We have to make sure the body is detoxing. So that's what we give you. We give you to do all of the right things at once, because if you're going to create new habits, wouldn't you like those to be your habits? So
Mhm.
if you have habits that are working for you, guess what? You can keep those. Like I tell people, like most people are eating grilled chicken in some way. Guess what? That works. You don't have to change that. But let's focus on the things that do need to shift. And when we do those things and get better and better and better at them, you're not doing it all at once. You're doing it one day at a time. And when we do it one day at a time and it becomes habit and you're getting those results and you're seeing the inches and you're feeling better, like she felt a little bit of those 25 pounds in inches. I mean, if you had to divide that by 10, I mean, that's 2.5 pounds a week. So you're
Mhm.
feeling a little bit of that every single day, by making those choices. So that's really fast. And it's happening really fast for everybody. And so, what our message that I want to be that shout from the rooftops is there is a big push right now for all these weight loss shots and surgeries and all of this stuff. Guys, that's delaying the inevitable, okay? There is no shortcut. If you try to take a shortcut, there will be a consequence, which means that you are getting farther away from the long-term goal. If you are losing weight on some of that stuff, it most likely isn't created in a healthy way. Your body is designed to do this naturally. You don't need the help of that in order to do it. There is an opportunity cost of doing those things. We want to help you learn to get to the root of it, which is, why do I medicate with myself with food? Like Natashah's talking about, like I found that I was overworking, that we have to go in and do the deep work and know what the body needs simultaneously to make this shift, right? And so what people do in 8 to 10 weeks is the foundational work so that we can, and this is what Natashah was talking about being in the lifestyle program. Now we need to apply time and consistency over time. And the lifestyle program is designed to just help you understand the way that your body works and help identify, like, every food that you come in contact with, what it does for your body specifically, how much you can have, when you can have it, and what it does to your body. And there's individuality there. And there's an individuality based on where your body has been, what you've been through, whether that's your
Mhm.
metabolism, your health, the trauma, addiction, like your support system at home, like all of those things are variables, and also where you want to go. Because we have plenty of people who need to lose 60, 70, 80, upwards of 100 pounds or more. this is the framework that will take everybody wherever they need to go. Even if you don't have weight to lose and you just need to create health in your body, this is what we teach, because health is created one way in the body. We've got to take these things into consideration, and the individualities, I can't say that word today, come out in the wash, in the time, and we meet you to wherever that is to help you guide that. And so we help people walk through everything from the social situations to the holidays, because it's the middle of August right now. But what happens
Mhm.
when you hit Thanksgiving and Christmas? Like, have you done that yet with your new plan and your new body? Like, you have to be able to learn where you are. So it's all of those questions that you've had, or the things that you've tried, or what you've done before. It's that place where you can come and find out what works and how to navigate that for yourself. And so when we have people like Natashah in our community who are skilled and gifted and trained in helping us do the emotional work, like we are doing that in our own capacity, but I don't spend all the days only working on the emotional, and that's what she does, right? And so this is the level of, professionals that are in our community, people that are actually doing this. So when you're surrounded by excellence of people who are completely transforming their life, that rubs off on you, right? Because sometimes the people around you don't necessarily want to make the change, or they don't get it yet.
Mhm.
And you have to be
Yep.
the person that is the change maker for your family. And so, whatever you need in order to create that strength and accountability around you, until these things that become habits, until this just becomes what you do. Like, I don't have to think about brushing my teeth. I just do that. And I'm thinking about all the other things I need to do. That's what this becomes. It becomes your new way of life. So I don't have to premeditate what I'm going to go eat when I go out to a restaurant. I just go and see what they have on the menu, and I order what I need to and enjoy it. And there's no fear
Yeah, it's a
around it.
lifestyle.
It's a
It's a
lifestyle.
lifestyle change.
It
Yep.
is completely. So I would love for you to share, as we're kind of wrapping up here with your amazing transformation story, just like what was most impactful for you about the experience? And secondly, what would you tell people, help them overcome the fear that they might have about starting another thing? Because we've all been there, and how this is different than maybe anything that you've tried before, because we believe that we're different. We know that we are.
The most impactful thing for me was I teach all day long how to get people to see their value and their self-worth. And I didn't realize how much I was shortchanging myself when
Mm,
it came to that. I didn't see the correlation between food and the consumption of food and my value and my worth. So
wow,
I
that's
would say
huge.
that was probably the most impactful for me. Um, Getting goosebumps again. Recognizing my worth and my value. My body is my temple, and what I have a choice in what I put in it. Um, and when I make excuses, and like before I'd go to fast food restaurants, or I love a soda and I would want to drink a soda just because I wanted to, I wasn't being kind to my body. I
Mm,
wasn't showing myself how much I truly love myself to take better care of myself. This program came at a perfect time because I had worked so hard on my mental and my emotional and my spiritual journey that I needed to work on my physical journey, and not in a vain way, not with regards to vanity,
hmm
but more physical, thinking more of the health part of this. And I would always say God would always use my health as a way to teach me a lesson. And he used this time, when my grandson was born, he almost didn't make it. We had some difficulties with his birth.
Oh,
And that was kind of the catalyst for me.
mm,
That was the last piece of stress
yeah,
that took me over.
yeah.
And I needed to see that. I needed to see that, yes, I preach all day long about being worthy and being of value, but am I being that way to myself? So that's
Mm,
the most impactful. Um, and that's my message to people out there in the world. What is your worth? What is your value to yourself? Do you truly love yourself? And if you say that you do, show it. Don't just say it, right? Be about it. And I had to be about it. I didn't want to just be, and my clients know this. I'm a woman who practices what she preaches, right? I don't just want to go out there and just share the wisdom like yourself, Miranda. I want people to see that we are capable of change.
yes.
We have to be willing to do it. Now, a lot of us have the willingness to do it. We would say it, but then the emotions come up and we get
Yeah.
scared and we're like, and we have doubt and we have uncertainty. But the only thing that's holding you back is you holding you back. If a program like this, and I know you have done some pretty good deals where you give discounts and stuff like that, which blows my mind. Um, that's God knocking on your guys' door. That's God saying to you, here's an opportunity for change. What do you have to lose?
Mhm.
At this point in my life, I had nothing else to lose but my life. My health depended upon this. And I was not willing to allow that to get worse. So that was my wake up call. So I'll ask anybody up there, what needs to be your wake up call? What needs to happen in your life for you to realize that you need this? And one of the reasons why I love this so much, because it is natural. I did not have to get prescription medications. Everything that Miranda has taught me is sustainable. I don't need to stay on a medication for the rest of my life. I don't need to keep going back to the doctor for other things. I just need to keep getting accustomed to knowing my body, knowing myself and what it needs, and then just listening to myself and listening to my body more.
Yeah.
So that's all I
And
got.
that's all we do is we help people, basically clean it up, clean up the messages so that you can feel that. Like you can feel what your body needs. You know what foods do to you. And it's such a transformational process of body, mind, and spirit because it's going to challenge everything that you've believed up until now. You're going to meet yourself for the first time. I know I did. And it is an emotional process. So the community is so much a part of what we do because we need to hold each other up. Like it might be the only place people have experienced where you have a safe place to talk about these things. I say that it's usually that it's about food for about the first 10 days. After you figure out what you're doing, then you're like, whoa, like I didn't realize all this stuff was going to come up. Whoa, I didn't realize I was so
Mhm.
food addicted. Whoa, and all the other things that come up along the way, which is why we need to have the expectation that it's going to take us some time to change our habits and belief system around food that we've been working on for, a few decades. If you're, 46
Mhm.
like me, like they've been ingrained for a really long time and they're also reinforced everywhere we go, the negative things that we're trying to work against. But I just so value you sharing your story is so powerful. I love everything that you give to our community and your heart to serve. And I know that your clients who love and respect you are watching this. And so if we have the opportunity to serve them better by getting them the education to just up level this, I'm convicted that everybody needs this information. Like it is valuable
Agreed.
to you, your family. Like no one is exempt from knowing how to feed their bodies in such a way for health. And I'll tell you, if you think you know how to do it, I'm going to challenge that. I know that I did it and I've been studying it my entire life. It took a long time
Mhm.
to figure it out and kind of wade through all of the myths and stuff like that. So we want to get you straight forward to what works in a very simple way. And so we just encourage you to reach out. There is no greater joy than having the conversations that I know Natasha and I had in the beginning, just to give people the hope that you can do this. There is a better way, and congratulations, you
Mhm.
found it. So if you're watching this, congratulations, you found it. And I'd love to talk to you. So you can actually just go to the website. It's resetwithmiranda.com. And there's a button that says apply now. You're going to fill out an application and then you just pick a time to talk to me. We have a conversation. Like if it's a fit,
You
if it's a
won't
fit.
regret it.
No, like it is the joy of my life to do calls like this because I want people to know what literally saved my life. It saved my life. Like near death more than once. Okay. Like it had to get pretty bad for me. So I understand that if you're suffering in any capacity, you don't have to be. And better
Yeah.
is like days away. I mean, not months, days away. And it's if you can trust the process and start, like it's a done deal. Like your life will be transformed if you surrender to the process. So
Take that leap of faith.
take the leap of faith. And I know, Natasha, this won't be our last time doing calls together. We have definitely a shared passion to serve people, and
Yes,
and
ma'am.
we stand in the place where we've been through trauma, we've been addicted, we're in recovery, we're not done yet. We're constantly doing the work. And I think there's also, like we talked about, people aren't aware that they're food addicted, but people aren't aware how traumas in their life show up in these ways. Like it's something
Mhm.
that's very near and dear to my heart that we do inside the Reset as well. And with your expertise in there and people having the ability to come work with you, like it's much needed. It's life changing for your families, your relationships, your profession, your career, your relationship with your kids. How they grow and change and become adults. Like to me, it's foundational to everything that you do in life. And the only risk is not learning it, not committing to learning
Agreed.
it. So, yes. So, any final words before we let all of your friends go today that have tuned in to watch today?
No, what do you have to lose? Ask yourself that question. What do I have to lose by making, by taking that first step, just by having a conversation with Miranda?
Yeah.
Whether you want to continue on or not, just having a conversation with her is life changing in itself. So
Yeah. And I
that's all I
think
have
and
to
I can
offer.
speak to us about we're type A driven women, is that for a while it felt like weakness to ask for help. And I will tell you, one of
Oh yeah.
the most pivotal moments in my life is when things got so bad I was forced to ask for help. And then when I was able to trust people to help take care of me, the things that people that had what I wanted that I could trust, that changed everything to me. Like we can't be expected to try to figure this out by ourselves. That is a choice that will lead to a long and lonely road of suffering, right? So we go
Hmm.
to school and expect somebody else to teach us to learn things. We go to a mechanic to fix our car. We go to someone to do our hair. But when it comes to our health, we understand that no one ever taught us how, but yet we don't want to make the investment to go learn it.
That is a whole other conversation,
It
Miranda. That's
sure
a
is.
podcast show right there.
It is. It needs to be like a weekly conversation or daily or whatever. But it's the truth. I'm gonna tell you, like that's how hard we've had to fight for the truth in order to get the reality. Because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things out there to distract you and send you the wrong way that you are spending your money on. And like we can redirect that, save your money, save your life, and a whole lot of suffering in between by getting that knowledge. And that's what we want you to have. We want you to have that freedom to do that. So I know we could keep talking for hours and hours and hours. So I just so enjoy our time together and our conversations. I always know
Thank
God
you.
is working when we come together. I have no doubt He's going to use this to touch many people through this. So if you want to get on a call, please go to resetwithmiranda.com, book a call, or send me a message, whatever feels safe for you. Absolutely do that. I'm a real person. I can't wait to talk to you. And if you are watching this on Facebook, or Natasha is sharing this recording with you later, give her some love for, being vulnerable and sharing this. But I'll tell you what, like the growth that comes from that, and the praise that she's going to get for doing these things. Like we do this because it's part of the growth process where you get to accept that, no, I did that. Like I did that. Like, yes, I was able to teach you those things, but it doesn't mean anything unless you choose to do it, apply it, and you did that with consistency and you got those amazing results, and you deserve to be proud of that, as I know you are, from the smile on your face and your willingness to
Thank
share
you.
it with other
Thank
people.
you.
So thank you for being brave. Thank you for being courageous. So give Natasha some love for that. Everybody have a great day. Thank you so much for investing time and watching this. And we know that when you invest in yourself, everything gets better. So reach out. We look forward to talking to you, and we'll see you next Transformation Tuesday. Thanks again, Natasha. Love you so much.
I love you too.
Bye.